Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are live with episode 5 or 6, 5 or 6 of Response. See, that's why I have Brandon around, so he remembers exactly what number we're on. And I should be able to remember since it's a very low number, but I guess I just, math.
Well, the only reason I know is because I look at the episode number whenever you say that, and then I change it to what it's supposed to be, and then I tell you.
Nice.
So, it's fine. We got it.
We got it, yeah.
Teamwork.
So, if you guys are tuning in for the first time, this is our kind of modern podcast that we do monthly, give or take, every 30 days or so.
It was like 2 weeks ago was the last one.
Yeah, but because I'll be in the GP next, or this coming weekend, and then the following weekend is, American Thanksgiving. You gotta preface that.
The not real fake version of Thanksgiving.
The fake Thanksgiving.
Here's the deal though. I don't mind it because we just eat turkey on your Thanksgiving too sometimes.
Nice.
It's like we just get both.
So that's why we won't be able to do it any later in November, but we wanted to at least get an episode in and kind of talk about some of the decks that have been a little bit more prevalent in the scene as of late, as well as some fun, interesting decks that have cropped up in some of the events. So that's kind of what today's episode is going to be focused on, is sort of the meta and some of the decks that you guys will be pretty much seeing if you go to any event. So
yeah,
that's really what. But before we get stuck into that, how's your week's been going since last time? Has been exciting for you, playing a lot or not as much?
See, I've learned that if I go to an F&M, I'm gonna formal it.
Yeah.
Because this is just how it works, I guess. Everyone at my store just plays Jund now, and I don't know why. It's annoying. I was the only person playing that deck, and then 4 people picked it up. And usually we have 10 people at the event, so there's a bunch of Jund players. One guy who's playing Infect and just getting his shit kicked in because he keeps having to get Jund, which is not
only play Jund every round.
Yeah, he plays Jund
round 2.
3 times an event. The poor guy. I feel so bad for him. I'm I'm still gonna beat you. Sorry, buddy.
Sorry for your loss there, but
and then one guy who's playing
Jund.
Yeah, I just played Jund. He can't even afford the Infect deck. He's still borrowing my Misties every week.
Aw.
So I don't think he can afford Jund. Yeah, it's a really weird metagame, so I'm getting a lot of Jund mirror practice, which is fine, because it's a good matchup to practice. But I'll win that event. Oops, sorry, but I'll mute my phone. I'll win that event, and then I'll go to a GP trialer or something, and I'll go 0-4.
You go in feeling really good, I've been playing well, dominating the FNMs, and you come there and just... Are there particular matchups that you're struggling with at those events, or is it just sort of bad luck?
I think I actually play it's usually just me playing bad.
Okay.
But I think this last one yesterday, I don't think I really played that bad. I think the biggest mistake I made play-wise was I had a situation versus a Blair Red opponent, which I think is a pretty decent matchup, but they can certainly get, they can beat you for sure.
Yeah.
I was trying to fulminate all his lands with Kulgan's commands, just buying him back, but he kept drawing lands. So I was trying to keep him off 4 lands,
and it was
but he just kept drawing them. I'm like, okay, well that Resto Angel in your hand is probably just gonna get cast if you can just keep drawing lands, you jerk. so he got to cast his Resto, and I should have been attacking with my Fulminator instead. And the game ended, and he was at 6. I could have got at least 2 attacks in, and I had a Lightning Bolt in hand. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I should have just been attacking with it.
Live and learn,
Yeah, live and learn, I guess. And then in a different match, so if you miss, I don't know if this is the actual ruling, but this is the ruling the judge gave, and there was no one to appeal to. I missed the Dark Confidant trigger. He walked over and he's like, okay, what we're going to call this is you drew an extra card. Okay. So he shuffles up my hand. My opponent gets to Thought Seize me, takes the Maelstrom Pulse that was going to kill all his Lingering Soul tokens. And then he's like, alright, opponent, would you like this trigger to go on the stack now? I'm like, whoa, this doesn't make any sense. If I drew an extra card before the trigger, why isn't the trigger just going on the stack? He's like, no, this is just how it works now. I'm like,
what?
Okay, I guess so. I mean, I trust you. You're my friend, so I'm going to be okay with this, but ow. So
yeah.
I didn't get my Dark Confidant trigger. I got Thought Seized, but I got to draw my card for my draw step? It was really brutal. That was the most brutal ruling I've ever dealt with. So don't mix your Dark Confidant triggers. If this is the new thing, wow, it's so disgusting.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
lost that game specifically because of that, because I lost the Learning Ring Soul tokens. I just never had an answer for them.
Huh. That's
Yeah, and
strange.
later in the match, I had an Olivia Voldarn on like 3 counters or something. You need to Thrun, so I was blocking with Dark Confidence and shooting them in before damage
Right, right.
to put counters on it. And he's like, "All right, regenerate Thrun, Damnation." And I'm like, "Yep, sure, fine." And we went on. And later at lunch, I realized you can't regenerate through Damnation.
No, no, no.
That doesn't work. And he's using the textless version, so neither of us caught it.
Ah.
I think I would have won that match too. So I don't know. That one's me forgetting what Damnation says.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's like a huge misplay or anything.
Destroy all creatures that can't be regenerated.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
The run does not work.
So
Oh,
it wasn't the best weekend or the best tournament. It was just like a Grand Prix trial. This wasn't like an actual Grand Prix or anything, so who cares? But you know, you want to play better than that.
No, yeah, I completely understand. That sucks. But,
What about you, man?
I've just been having up and down weeks. Since a lot of the people at my shop are getting ready to go to the GP, so everyone's kind of grinding and practicing real hard.
Yeah.
And there'll be weeks where I'm like middle of the road 2-2, where sometimes I just get bad luck and play all the twin players, and they're just like, "Oh, here's turn 4 twin, and I don't have a vines in hand, so I'm just dead." or I just like play really dumb and like make dumb mistakes, or I do really well and they just get the nuts hand, and I just like. So I mean, my weeks have been kind of like middle of the road, but I've been like hardcore grinding Infect since the GP trial, I guess, which was September, I think.
Yeah, you've just been playing Infect.
I've just been playing nothing but Infect, and I like usually to mix up week in, week out, so I don't get like burned out from playing a specific deck or playing specific matchups. So it's been tough when those weeks where I sit there and go like 0-4 and just be like, well, the only win I got was a bye. Yeah,
could have played Knights.
Right.
Actually, you know, I don't really get that. Like, I find it with Jund, I just want to keep playing Jund.
Yeah.
I do have like Teamer Twin built, and I can probably get another deck together or something if I want. But like, I don't know, let's play Jund. I just want to.
I just like. I like playing different matchups from different point of views.
Yeah. I think that's good practice, but yeah.
Yeah. So, but that's what I was like. I've got this coming weekend. Well, so on Tuesday I'll be playing the last kind of like F&M, and then this weekend is the actual GP, and then so I'm like really pumped. Every week I've just been like changing my sideboard up like 1-2 cards here and there, and
just getting perfect.
Trying to smooth them out as much as I can, and there's still like 1 or 2 cards I'd like to try to fit in the main board, but I can't yet, and I don't know. So my deck's probably just going to continue to change right up to the actual event. So,
how far are you from Pittsburgh?
It's like 3 hours or so.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Yeah.
And take a plane even. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're all I have a group of buddies driving up Friday,
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll just kind of have a nice weekend up there. And I checked to make sure there's no home football games, so we don't have to get swarmed and deal with that crazy stuff. So,
but that's just super busy there.
Yeah.
Public transit's just full. No one knows why.
Yeah. So that's how my stuff's been going. But
cool.
Why don't we slide over, because there was a GP, the one in Brazil, and we at least have the top 16 decks that have been going on, and a lot of the top decks are again the decks that you'd expect to see for the top 8. Zoo has been running rampant in events like just GPs and
ban Wild Nakatl.
Get that out of here. No. And so there's variations of the different zoos that we're seeing, like Naya Zoo.
I like the Collected Company Zoo.
I like that one too. There's also like the Bant Zoo. There's a lot of different variations. So a couple of the lists, the kind of straightforward Goyf, Wild Nakatl, Noble Hierarch, that sort of thing. Wow. That you'd expect to see with it. One of the lists, though, was running Elspeth,
Mm-hmm.
which I thought was kind of cool that they've thrown in there to kind of jump over top of your dudes. Um, the Bant Zoo list, though, was the one that was running Night and Retreat as well.
Yeah, this is I guess here's another Battle for Zendikar card that's in modern. I guess.
I guess.
Like, really? Is this good enough? I don't think this card's good enough, even with the combo. Like, do you need Day or Night to be even better, or is it just already amazing?
I like it, but
Like it?
you know, I like Night anyway, so.
Yeah, I think,
Um,
man, Knight's just already a great card. I don't think it needs this.
but he's only running 2 of.
Yeah,
It's
that's true.
just
It's
like
not
an
like
extra, you know, hey, this is a cute thing. I'm gonna tap your dudes down so I can kill you.
Yeah, sometimes you go, haha, it's a cute thing, I'm gonna tap your dudes, but you draw it at the wrong time, and it's like, oh, this could have been a creature? Aw.
Oh, yeah.
That was bad. But yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, hopefully he got some people with it. I just want
I
to
mean,
see
he
him.
made top 8, so I'd assume he probably
Yeah,
had at least
he
one
must
person that weekend.
Yeah. Here's something that I just noticed that I don't like about Wizards. How they report deck lists. All of these, like, if there is a, what you call it? An expedition
Yeah.
of that card, that's the art they use. Nobody has these. Nobody plays with them.
No. Yeah, like, wow, look at all these fancy lands that they don't have in their deck.
Wow, Windswept He's really, really beautiful. Like, this art is crazy. I want that one. Oh, it's $150. Yeah.
No thanks. Yeah.
We do see a lot of Zoo here. There's also a lot of Burn too.
Yes. Yeah. Burn is still doing what? Just the straight up Naya Burn, which you would normally expect to see. You know, the guides, Swiss Spirits, Eidolons, Atarka's commands are in there. Boros Charms. Yep. This one's also running Wild Nacatl because
they both are.
You know, why not?
I actually haven't seen this too much, but having both the burn lists that made top 8 running Wild Nacatl maybe just means that you're supposed to run them in burn. I mean, 3/3 for 1 is good.
Yeah,
it's just good mana.
It's pretty strong.
Yeah, strong.
So we had 2 burn lists. I think at least 3 zoo.
I think it was 2 and 2. Right?
Okay, 2 and 2. But we had a red green Tron list make up there. You know, the Karns, Ugins, Wormcoils, cool, Emrakul's.
Normal degenerate stuff.
Regular red green Tron that you'd expect to see.
I like Karn Liberated. He's one of my favorite planeswalkers, but I hate this deck so much.
And this is the list that's also running 4 Pyroclasm's main board.
Oh wow, yeah. Well, that's probably why he did well. It looks like this tournament was just very, very aggressive.
Yeah.
When there's 16 Wild Nacatls in the top 8, like you want to be the guy running Pyroclasm. And Oblivion Stone is a 4 of. Yeah. Both very good here.
Branding Volleys in the sideboard. Surgical Extraction. See, those are running Boil. Ew. 3 Boils.
Filthy Blue decks. Wow, 3?
Yeah.
That's excessive. It feels excessive. Maybe it's not. I don't know.
I don't know. It's pretty funny, though.
Yeah, another deck here that made the top 8, kind of an outlier sometimes. Living End, it's pretty popular actually nowadays, but you don't generally see an insane amount of Living End, but the general idea is you cycle all your creatures and then you cast, Demonic Dread or Violent Outburst, and then you cascade, and the only things you can cascade into are Living End, which just puts all your stuff in play.
Yeah.
It's a pretty sweet deck. Have you actually played against this ever? I've never played against it.
I have. Because there used to be somebody at my shop that was running it who made day 2 at a Star City Open with it.
So you only ever played this deck ever again? I made day 2. It's just my deck.
Yeah, that's so he plays it. It's against Infect. Like I have a decent chance against it. Other decks, it's just like here's all my dudes. Like I like playing against it if I'm playing Tron or if I'm playing Infect. Other matchups, I'm not very happy playing against Living End.
Yeah, I think the green-black decks probably have trouble here, unless you get the Scavenging Ooze.
Yeah.
If you get Scavenging Ooze, you're probably just going to wreck them. Like, I'll cycle 3 dudes. Okay, play Scavenging Ooze, eat 1, go. Like, oh. That is so rude.
It's definitely a nice kind of fringe deck. It can do well. As you can see, he made top 8 at a GP. It's one of the decks that you really have to know in and out pretty well.
Yeah, you gotta play it right, for sure.
When
you know,
to be able to cast the Living End and when not to, and so on. So.
Yep. I think there's also a lot to be gained by practicing against it, like especially for no, I shouldn't say especially, but affinity players. I've seen people lose to this deck. I don't think you should ever lose to it with affinity if you have a Ravager out, because they violent outburst and you're like, okay, sack all my creatures, my Ravager.
yeah, exactly.
And it actually works out that you get to put the counters on one of the creatures that comes back. Because it dies, triggers, but all the creatures dying is part of the spell. So the creatures come back and then the trigger goes on the stack, so you just pick it where it goes. It's so good.
Think about that. Wow.
So all it actually does is, like, it kills the Ravager, but it puts like 20 counters on one of their creatures.
Yeah. Like, good luck.
Yeah, so it's actually, it's a terrible matchup for Living End. Assuming you get a Ravager, which I think you probably just mulligan a one, honestly. If your hand's not great, you're just like, no, it doesn't have a Ravager, I need one.
Right. Play it safe. So we had a blue-red twin because, it's modern.
It's gotta be. Every top 8 needs a twin deck. That's what I've learned.
But this is a very straightforward, just blue-red, nothing crazy. I've seen a couple lists start running Jace, Vryn's Prodigy, in the main board of it, just as a help loot, help find your cards, and then being able to flash stuff back is pretty good.
So I like Jace in like the Grixis decks and stuff because you've got Terminate and like Lightning Bolt and all that to flashback. This deck has a lot of counter magic.
Right.
Like 3 Dispels, 2 Spellsters, 4 Remands, and the Cryptics really are not that good to flashback with Jace. So you're looking at 2 Electrolyzes and 4 Bolts in the main deck. So I don't know if it's great. It would be great in this list. I like the Jace Architect, I thought, in this one. But yeah.
I've got the 2 in the sideboard for it.
Yeah. I think once you're like flashbacking Duresses and stuff with Jace, that's when it's really strong.
Yeah.
That's when he's the best. So quite good. This is still a cool list. I like that he's running 3 Dispels. Like, the card is just so good right now. Kolaghan's Command being as popular as it is, and also just all these decks playing instants. If you dispel someone's Cryptic Command, or their Kolaghan's Command or whatever, it's so strong. It's such a big swing because you paid 1 mana and they paid 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And you probably got to do something else in your turn and they didn't, which is where the mana cost comes in. So if you get to you play a Deceiver and Dispel, like you play Deceiver and tap your land Dispel, and then you just combo them, that is so gross.
So straightforward twins that you guys are expecting to see. There are variations on the twin list, but at least the blue-red one made it. And then one of the other kind of outlier decks like Living in the top 8.
It's the worst. Boggles, come on.
Yeah, green, white, hexproof. Now this is the list that was not running the O2 Aura dude. That when you play an Aura, you draw a card, and when it's equipped with an Aura, it gets +2/+2. I forgot his name. Core Spirit Dancer or Walker?
Core Spirit Dancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. I wonder why they're not playing that.
I don't know, but they ran basically the Ledge Walker instead, so he's the 1/1 hexproof, can't be blocked except for if the creature has flying.
Just another hexproof creature.
Yeah, just another dude.
2 mana, but still says hexproof, so.
Yeah. But yeah, it's straightforward. Path to Exile, all the enchantments that you'd ever want to have.
Yep.
The sideboard doesn't really change very much depending on what you're playing. The ley lines are in there: Path, Nature's Claim, Rest in Peace, Stony Silence, Dismember. The Spirit Link, that's just kind of the one little, fun of that he's got in there.
Yeah.
Basically a life linker.
This is why hexproof was a mistake. It should have never been printed. This is the worst.
Because of the list like this.
This deck, this is what we have to thank Wizards for. Like, for having this stupid deck in Modern. I hate it so much. I actually have a good matchup for it, so I just think it's bad.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, the point of playing Magic is, to have fun games that are, interactive, and so this deck doesn't want to do that.
It doesn't.
No, I don't want to interact with you. My thing, and then you die.
Yeah.
I just do my thing. And you're like, well, but no, I want to kill your. No, you can't kill my creature.
Nope, not allowed.
You can't target it.
Oh,
This is when you board in Damnation. They look really sad.
Yeah. This
Come on,
list ran
man.
the 3 suspension or suppression fields in the main board too,
Ugh.
which I think is nice.
Yeah, okay, it's good, but yeah, I think this deck is a good choice for no one, unless these are the cards you have and you want to play Modern. In which case, you know, man, whatever, dude.
Yeah.
Play Modern.
I mean,
even
it
if
is a relatively cheap deck,
Hexproof.
though.
Yeah, it is a cheap deck. In all seriousness, like if you're trying to get into Modern, this is a decent way to do it. It's very linear.
Yes.
It's pretty cheap. Like it's very budget compared to a lot of decks, and you know it'll get you some wins. So
yeah.
You want to start winning those packs, and then you trade that stuff for Modern stuff. Then you play other decks that are fun.
There you go. You heard it here first.
There you go.
So
also,
like,
I love Dryad Arbor.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just put enchantments on it. It's hilarious.
Yeah. kill him with the Dryad Arbor. So the 9th to the 16th are a lot more of the decks that you are going to see. Like Amulet Bloom is in there. We had some Jund lists.
Yeah.
Have you started seeing the people running the Thopter generator guy, Chandra's parents in Jund?
Oh, in Kieran.
Yeah.
Jund. I think Huntmaster's better.
I've seen some lists run like a 1-up.
Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable.
I'm not sure if you've seen this or tried it out or anything like that.
I have not tried it. I've thought about it, and then just kind of decided that Huntmaster's a better card for us.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, like we can cast it, gaining life, and P and Kieran can't really just take over the game on its own.
Right.
Where Huntmaster, sometimes, like I actually had a game where this happened. Huntmaster flipped like 4 times.
Gosh.
You just could not beat it. I'm like, yeah, I don't care if you're absent. I'm going to kill all your tokens and kill you with this 4/4 trampler. While
That
gaining
sucks.
life and making more 2/2s.
Yeah.
So, Huntmaster is very good. I do think you want to be running that. I like the Coursers in this deck. I tried Coursers main. I didn't really have that much success with them. But
Well, this
maybe
is also not running Dark Confidant.
yeah, I like Bob. I like Bob a lot. I think he's better. Only 2 lilies, too?
Because
3 Lightning
2 Lily, 2 Chandras.
Man. Whoa. I mean, three bolts is weird to me because I've never wanted to have less bolts.
Right. Why?
Like access to them. He's got the 4th in the sideboard, but
why would you?
yeah, why would you not just want that? It's so good.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, that's strange. Okay, well.
This list is always also very discard heavy with usually you see 6 discard spells where we got 7 here and 3 duress on the sideboard. So he was not losing a combo.
No.
That was not happening.
That's what he came prepared for.
Yeah, he was ready for combo. I mean that's honestly all you need. And the 4 Fulminators and 2 Blood Moons means that the lands decks are actually not as bad as usual.
Yeah.
I think once you put 6 sideboard cards in for Tron, you can maybe start thinking it's like a 40% matchup for you. So he actually had a shot. Not a great one, but
no, but still, hey, it's better than nothing.
It is better than nothing, which is what I have versus Tron.
Yeah,
just don't even care anymore. Oh wait, Tron. Maybe I draw the 1 Blood Moon and you die.
There you go. Maybe if I'm lucky.
Yeah, if I'm lucky.
Moving on, we've got at least 1 infect list. This is very straightforward. Running the Rancors in there, all the pump spells. Choosing not to run the Wild Defiance, moved away from that.
Yeah, do you like the Wild Defiance, or do you?
I do. I still run 2 main because like everybody's running Lightning Bolt. Like everybody is, especially like all the zoo running around too. Like Jund, any sort of control is running it. So like you try to bolt my stuff, guess what? It gets +3 just from you targeting it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can just use like 1 pump spell instead of use 2 or 3 to kill you. So
what do you think about 1 Rancor?
That's one of the cards that I've been trying to see if I can fit it back in the main. I keep it in the side right now because I don't always want it. And the last time I had it in the main, I kept siding it out in a lot of different matchups. So a lot of people have brought it back into the main. But I would rather keep it in the side. And like if I really need it for specific matchups, I'll bring it in.
Yeah. Like what's the matchup that you wanted in? I've never...
I like using it against Abzan. You know, like tokens and stuff like that. I don't mind having it also against the affinity matchup
Yeah.
Because they just have so much stuff in the way of my guys unless I have an unblockable guy. So
They have their own inks as well.
Yep. So it's
Inkmoth Nexus is like the perfect answer to, in fact. It's so funny because you block their Inkmoth Nexus and it gets a -1 counter on it, so they can never activate it again.
Yep.
So like this, actually, a friend of mine, we were making a video with Bloom Titan, which hopefully comes out soon. It's me bungling the deck, but we still win 4-1 in a league. But we played against an effect player and had a Vesuva. And his first land was Inkmoth. I'm like, we just make an Inkmoth, right? He's like, I guess so.
Yeah.
Won the game because we blocked his Inkmoth with our Inkmoth. It was sweet.
Oh, that's pretty fun. So speaking of affinity stuff, we've got at least one affinity list in there. Again.
Yeah, I mean, usual suspects, right? Like, it's gonna be around.
Yeah. It's a pretty straightforward one.
Yeah, this is the Galvanic Blast version.
Master of Ethereum in there.
Yeah.
Some lists I have seen.
Or Edge Champions?
Yes. I've been seeing more of the Etch Champions coming back in to help deal with some of the zoo and some of the quick aggro decks and stuff like that.
They're just good versus any deck that wants to interact with you.
Yeah.
Like I see Master or what is it? Etch Champion. I'm like afraid. I can't kill it unless I like blow up all the artifacts and then kill it, or I make it so it's the only creature and I eat you. Like that's difficult to get rid of. This is a very good card in a lot of matchups. So if like the grindy decks are coming back and being like tier 1, which isn't what we saw at this tournament, but it's kind of what we're seeing in a lot of other places, then I think you just run like 3 or 4 men and you're really happy with them.
Yeah. I've also started to see a couple affinity lists run hanger back as well.
Yeah.
You know, that's some people's preference on it. I think if you're running the Master of Ethereum and you're running the Steel Overseer package, why would you not at least have one hanger back in there?
It's just slow, I think, is the argument.
Yeah, but even if you just bring it out 2 mana, pay 2 mana for the 1/1, you're gonna put a bunch of counters on it, and then if you sack it, now you've got a bunch of 1/1 guys, and like I don't know, I think even just having one is nice, but to each their own.
Exactly. Like the affinity players I've talked to say it's got a couple matchups, like again, like any of the mid-range decks where it's so good.
Yeah.
Because they have to kill it. You can't just let it get bigger.
Right.
Because eventually they're going to sack it to the Ravager. So you have to kill it, but when they kill it, you get more stuff anyway, so you don't care. So you just kind of snowballs on them. So I agree. I think it's very good. I at least want one in my sideboard.
Yeah. So moving along, we've got a Podless Pod or the
Podless Pod.
Absent Company. I mean, really, it is like the Podless Pod deck.
Yeah, this is just the old decks. They just won't give up.
You know,
say stop it. Pod's not a deck anymore. Go away. And they're like, no, we're just playing Pod. I just want to play Pod. I'm like, yeah, I mean, all right, fine. Play your Maliras.
Play your Maliras. I hate Maliras so much.
Yeah, I know.
I also hate playing against elf players that have them in the sideboard and they bring it in and they're like, meh, here's my Court of Calling for Malira.
Friend of mine had a really sweet game where he's Infect. He had Listener Elf, I think, out, which is just like a 1/1 with Malira.
Yeah.
And his opponent tapped out with a Malira in play, thinking, yeah, there's no way I can lose. Sheldon's like, alright, hunt the hunter, kill your Malira, hit you for 5.
Yes.
I was so happy. It was so funny. Look at the guy's face was just perfect.
Yeah.
It was great. Yeah, I don't think this deck is one that I would play. I don't know that it's very good a lot of the time, and it's kind of janky, but I've seen people doing well with it, so I'm probably just wrong. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. So moving along, more Juns. This is kind of the more one that a lot of people are familiar with the Bobs in there, 4 Lilies.
Yes, exactly.
You know,
this is like 2 cards off my list. You minus a Abrupt Decay and add a Hunt Master of the Fells.
Oh, cool.
That's literally the same main deck, unless his lands are different, which they are. I'm running 3 Raging Ravine, 1 Treetop, and he's just got 4 Raging Ravine. So this is...
I think having at least 1 Treetop's good.
Yeah, I think, man, people have been like giving me flack for running treetop. Why? It's the best man land. The only reason I can't play more is because I need the red mana.
Yeah.
It hurts because I like treetop a lot.
I like Knights. Knights of Soul Betrayal is so good. I
Yeah,
hate it when somebody plays it against me, but it's such a good
I
card.
bet.
Oh, and our 15th place, Lantern Control, guys. It's still there.
Stupid lantern deck.
Like, in all seriousness, if you have a good player that's piloting this, they can do phenomenal.
Yeah, I've never got to play against someone who really knows what they're doing, so I just kind of thrashed them.
I've played both against somebody that doesn't really know what they're doing and somebody that knows what they're doing, and it is a huge difference.
Oh, I bet.
Like, I did not like it.
No, I want to draw good cards though.
It's like, can I go back to playing against people that don't know how to play this deck? Because then then it's fun for me. This is not fun.
Flavor of the month. Yeah, when this deck is flavor of the month, it's great because everybody just beats them. Like right after I won that Grand Prix,
Yeah,
I saw a lot of people playing this thing, and they're just not good with it. And you beat them, and it was pretty much like free wins. But I don't know. I'm afraid of playing somebody who knows what they're doing. I'll admit that.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I might put it together at some point and just dick around with it.
Just have some fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I proxied it so we can practice against it. Again, the problem is like none of us know how to play it though.
Right.
It's like nobody's good enough to actually practice against. Last deck here we got Twin.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about Twin?
It's another blue-red one.
It's like the exact same list actually.
Yeah.
I think it's got a roast and the other one didn't have a roast.
It had its roast in the sideboard.
Yeah, they were in the side. That's the difference. We moved our roast, don't worry. This list also plays only one Keranos. I think Keranos should be a 2 of.
Yeah, I think Keranos is awesome. It also runs 3 Thragtusk.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's probably fine instead of Keranos.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how much green mana do they have access to here?
Stomping and Breeding.
Oh, there's actually...
And one Forest. Wow.
Tarmogoyfs. Yeah, when I saw the forest, I went to did I miss the Tarmogoyfs? Whoa. That's a lot.
Dude, you got green in your deck, you're not running Tarmogoyf. I think you're doing something wrong.
It's like, well, they're $250. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Actually, I have more news. So,
okay.
Up till now, I've been running my Goyfs. There are 3 Future Sight and 1 Modern Masters.
Yeah.
Now I have 4 Future Sight.
Nice. Good job.
Honestly, it messed with me. I think now my deck is uncursed. That's what it is.
Ah, okay.
So I'm going to go to tournaments and just win all. Pro Tour Champion, Brandon Mutroni incoming.
Get ready.
As long as all the tournaments are modern.
There, yeah. So
that is standard.
So speaking of Goyfs, we're going to go and talk a little bit about Star City events, and there's been a couple of decks. Just some interesting decks that we wanted to talk about. The first one that I love because, who doesn't love big, dirtily creatures? It's the Doran deck, for those that are not familiar with this list.
Oh, Doran.
Oh, Doran. You're so cool.
You're so weird.
The big old tree, Doran. He's an 0/5. Each creature assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power.
Yeah.
So it's got 4 Spellskites in there.
Sweet.
There's your 4/4. Awesome.
Standard 4/4 for 2 mana.
Birds, cool, noble, some kind of, accelerators in there. We've got our Iron right here. It's a 3 cost, 1/4 with Fateful Hour. As long as you have 5 or less life, other creatures you control get +1/+4. Pretty good in a pinch if you need some extra toughness. By itself, it does 4 damage. So, awesome.
Yeah, 4s are good.
Siege Rhino, hey, it's a 4/5, guys. Or basically a 5/5.
Yeah.
With Trample. Pretty good.
Oh my god, Nobra Hurricane has power in this deck!
Yeah. We've got Goyf in there, as you'd expect. The Doran. Pretty much 22 creatures. The spells that it's got, Assault Formation there, which is
cool.
Doran.
Yeah, this is the Doran.
So in case you don't end up having Dorn. There's
Yeah,
basically
you have Dorn anyway.
Yeah, there's 6 ways for you to be able to deal damage in this deck with your creatures. Assault Formation helps you out. Then you've got some removal, Abrupt Decay, Path to Exile, Tower Defense, in case you want to make that awesome Siege Rhino of yours be able to swing for 10 damage instead of, you know, 5.
you gotta get a pump spell in your Dorn.
Tower Defense, creatures you control get +0, +5, and reach until the end of the turn. And then you've got Lingering Souls in case, you know, you really need to just poke for a little bit extra damage there.
You got Lingering Souls because you just want to play good cards.
Yeah, you need at least some good cards in this deck.
Yeah, this is like an Abzan deck someone started, and then they're like, nah, I got 4 Dorns, let's just do it.
Let's go for it, guys.
I'm gonna leave the Souls in, though.
But I love this deck, and if I had Goyfs, I would play this deck over Abzan and Jund, because this is just silly and fun.
I mean, I'd lend them to you, but you're kind of far. Yeah. You should just move to Canada.
It's too cold for me.
It's too cold for you?
Yeah.
It's fair. I mean, it's like too hot in the States for me, honestly. Seriously, we went to Florida in like wintertime for them. We were all sweating, and everybody's wearing like jackets.
Oh, it's ridiculous when you go somewhere. Yeah, and like California too, where it's like 60 degrees or 50 degrees, and they're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it's so cold." And you're like, "What?
What do you mean it's cold? It's so hot. I'm gonna go to the beach."
So the list sideboard for it is pretty straightforward. A lot of 1-ofs. I like the Eidolon that they've got in there. The 1/4. Each player can't cast more than 1 spell.
Is it Eidolon the Rhetoric? Yeah.
Golgari Charms, Slaughter Pact. He's got an Anafenza. Oh, he does run 3 Lilies.
Yeah, just on the sideboard. That's kind of interesting.
Just in case.
I think they're just good enough, right? Like,
yeah.
You play those instead of Tower Defense because this is not.
No, I know you got to keep that Tower Defense.
Why?
10 damage with a Siege Rhino. Come on.
Even if you had a pump so they're +5/+5, it's probably not good enough still. Like, you look at what is it, 6 mana or the +6/+6 one, but it's got Delve.
Like,
you don't just play that in a random deck. You play that in like a deck that combos with it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess it technically combos with Tower Defense, but your combo is just it's +5/+5 now. It's not you're dead.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's spicy. We'll go with that. Maybe it's like a 2-of would be cool, but I don't want 4.
I don't want 4.
4. All right, man. You can have 4.
Go ahead. That's not gonna
bother me. I'm fine with it. 4 is fine.
Yeah, so that was got 7th place at one of the premium IQs, so I just wanted to kind of bring it up. A lot of the decks that have been playing at the events have been the same decks we kind of talked about for our top 16, but there's at least 3 decks that were different from the last couple of weeks that we wanted to talk about.
Here's how you play versus that deck. You kill the Doran.
Yes. You kill the Doran,
that way
you kill Assault Formation. But you have to be careful because they also run 4 Spellskites.
Yeah, Spellskite's just a good creature anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swinging in for 9 damage with a Spellskite and Tower Defense.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that, and then like they Abrupt Decay, and you're like, I'll use my Spellskite to.
Oh, sadness.
That's not how it works.
So
that is blank removal spells with this thing. What happens?
So another interesting deck, because we did have an open recently. This was a deck that placed 12th. Have you looked at the Hulk Footsteps deck?
I saw this deck playing.
You did.
I don't know how it wins though, because I don't understand what was happening. I think it was something to the effect of I'm sacking Revelark, get body double back, and getting a Revelark, sack Revelark, and then get another body. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't get it. You killed Modfunak though.
Yeah, that's one of the ways you can kill him. Sack it, deal 1 damage to target creature or player, and you've got ways to bring it back with the Revelarks. Protein Hulk. So whenever he is put into the graveyard from play, search your library for any number of creature cards with a total converted mana cost 6 or less and put them into play, and shuffle your library. You've also got body double in there, because why not?
Yeah, I'm so confused. I don't know how this works.
Yeah, you've got Through the Breach, Footsteps of Goryo, because we need more Goryo stuff in there. Return target creature card from your graveyard to play. Sack that card at the end of your turn.
Huh. It doesn't get haste or anything.
Yeah. So, because it's really just to get back like Protein Hulk, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Or
So
Revelar.
I mean, in this deck, it's for getting Protean Hulk back, but I mean, like, design-wise, it's really weird.
Yeah, I don't know why not just run Goryo's Vengeance.
It's a sorcery.
Uh,
Goryo's Vengeance has to be legendary, so. That's why I can't-
is it? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Return target creature card from your graveyard to play, sacrifice a creature in return. This is why people hated Kamigawa. The cards are just dumb.
The cards are just dumb.
Look at this card. It's so stupid.
It runs Pact of Negation, Summoner's Pact. You know, it's
It's pretty all in.
It's
like,
it is like it's
when you're running Tigum scheming, you're all in. This is the fact.
It is a weird deck. I didn't get a chance to watch it, so I could not say. I guess
what I gathered was that
with Monk Fanatic, but
yeah, what I gathered is that you what's that one called? You put it into play with Through the Breach, and then you look through your library and find creatures, and then your opponent concedes. That's what it looked like to me. I don't understand this deck enough to talk about it too much. I do like that, like, so clearly Footsteps of the Goryo is good in this deck. Like, it's 4-0, so it's gotta be good. And I like that there's things like, Is It Charm, to actually, put that in their graveyard, because that's really where they need it.
Yep.
Sleight of Hand doesn't put it in your graveyard. Tigum Scheme, that's why it's in this deck. It puts stuff in your graveyard. Oh, that's so interesting. So you cast Tigum Scheming, you put, like, your Protean Hulk in your graveyard, and then you can Footsteps it back.
Yeah.
Interesting. This deck's cool, man. It's crazy, but it's cool.
It's crazy. It's not something that you're gonna really see that often, but you might encounter it once, in like the early rounds of a big event. So be prepared. I mean, this deck got 12th though at the Open, so clearly this guy knew what he was doing with this deck, and he had played it in and out. And most people probably playing against him was like, "I have never seen this deck before, and I have no idea what you're doing."
Yeah, like if you're Thoughtseize in this deck, what do you take? You can't take Protean Hulk because then they just get reanimated. Like you have to take Footsteps of the Goryo and Through the Breach. I think that's the only ways for them to get Protean Hulk into play, other than just casting it.
Yep.
So those are the cards that are really important. Really interesting.
And of course, it's got an Emrakul in case
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Why not?
Like, sometimes you just Through the Breach Emrakul, and like, okay.
Okay, you got it. So I did want to just bring that one up. Another deck that you probably are not going to see very often, if ever. It's a mono blue turns deck.
What does it mean?
Basically, you take a bunch of turns and you eventually deck out your opponent.
I figured you were going to take a bunch of turns.
It is. So the objective of the deck is basically to play Solitaire.
Okay.
You sit there and it's got... So it's got Walk, sacrifice 3 islands, take an extra turn after this one for the buyback. Time Warp, take an extra turn after this one. Temporal Mastery, cost 7, or Miracle it for 2, take an extra turn. Part the Water Veil there, take an extra turn.
Battle for Syndicate card. There's 5 now.
Yep. What else do we got? Any other take extra turns? Okay, so those are the taking extra turns. Elixir of Immortality, you can put a bunch of stuff back into your graveyard. It's got the Howling Mine, Dictative Crewfix. So all this blue devotion as well. Everyone's going to be drawing a bunch of cards. You've got Thassa if you want to beat him down with Thassa. And Jace is kind of your win.
Jace Bellerin.
Yeah. Everybody's drawing cards. And you're also drawing a bunch of cards with Dictate. You're also drawing a bunch of cards with Howling Mine. And eventually you're going to just get milled out because he's going to sit there and constantly be making everybody draw cards, and he'll be drawing cards. It's a really fun deck for the person playing it.
Yeah, I bet.
But really, you it's a lot of sitting around when you're playing against the deck.
Right.
Because you sit there and you're like, well, I would like to take my turn, but you're on your second take an extra turn right now, and I bet you've probably got a way to cast another one in there. I mean, it's got serums in there. Like the Walk is great because you get to stack all your islands and just keep buying it back and stuff. But like it's a fun deck. You've got a bunch of counter magic too. You can tap out a bunch of your opponent's stuff. Cryptic commands in there, like and in the sideboard you can see it's got Laboratory Maniac as well.
Yep, that makes sense.
So you have another way to just win, and you can sit there and be like, cool, I'm going to mill myself into Laboratory Maniac. Guess what? Now I win. Sorry, guys. It got third at the Premium IQ.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
This might be a deck that you're going to see a little bit more of, just because it's a very silly deck. It's not super competitive, but it can win and piss people off by doing so.
See, these are when I play Joan. These are the decks I want to play against because I just get to fun police them.
Yeah.
Like, but I want to take turns. I'm like, no, I'm gonna cast Thoughtseize. you can't take more turns. Sorry. But I want to, but you can.
No. It also runs the center there. I'll talk the lands.
Yeah, Mikakoro.
Draw cards. It runs the storage counter lands. So during your extra turns, you can sit there and just put counters on it, and eventually, like, oh, now look at all this blue mana I've got. Woo!
So I guess like they're not fixing. He's got one Drive Shoot Reef and one Calciform Pools. I can't imagine that black or white mana are actually useful for this deck.
Yeah, no, not.
So it's really just like a blue charge land. That's really cool. We've seen the power of Majoring Network in Standard lately. Like it's very good, and these are also good in Modern. It's the same thing.
Yeah, so did want to kind of mention that for any of you guys that have all these mythics lying around from way back in that you're not using. Now you can all throw them into decks and sit there and laugh as your opponent goes, I just want to play something, and then they try to, and you reman it or spell snare it, and it's great.
And of course they're drawing you're drawing 2 cards a turn because you got your Dictator, Howling Mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess for these mono blue decks, Dictate's just strictly better. Howling Mine, you just play it at the end of their turn. I guess Howling Mine's 2 mana or a mana cheaper, so if you're stuck on lands, it's a little better. But
yeah, but also the Dictate works towards activating Thassa.
Yeah, exactly. You can actually like attack and kill people with Thassa instead of just waiting for them to deck.
Yep. And then you get a scry with Thassa too, so you got to set up your draws better, and yeah.
Yeah, this is cool. I personally, again, this isn't one of the decks I'd play, just because it's not my style. But I think if you want to play this deck and have some fun, like, go for it, man.
Go for it, yeah. Cool. So did you want to talk about any of the other lists or any of the other decks?
Yeah, we could just like take a look at what did well in the open.
Okay.
Like just a quick rundown of it, see what happened. Looks like so aggro. Wow, this is another very aggressive top 8. Like we have a green-red aggro, which I'm not entirely sure what that means. We'll have to check it out.
It's really like a green-red zoo almost. It's got like the Curd Apes in there, the Wild Nacatls. But it runs 4 Vexing Devils. It runs the Flint Hoof Boar, Experiment 1, Burning Tree, Goyf. I've played against this deck. It's really annoying. Like,
yeah, it looks really fast.
It is. It runs the Tarkus Command 2, and most of the time they have so many. They get creatures out so quickly with Burning Tree, and most of theirs are 1-drops anyway.
Yeah.
Then they're like, all right, a Tarkus Command. All my guys get +1, and I'm doing 3 damage to your face, and now you're dead because I'm swinging in with like 3 guys, and you're dead. Sorry.
Yeah, I kind of would like to see. There's 4 Island Girl on the sideboard. I just kind of want to see a main deck. I don't know what you think out. I just think
because it also runs the mutagenics in there, and the vines and lightning bolts and stuff. I don't mind it keeping it for the sideboard and then bringing it in accordingly.
Yeah. I just think this deck's so fast. Like,
yeah,
you're gonna get them before they get you.
Right. I've also seen
the best way to stabilize
the Chorclan Rampager main and not side too. But
yeah, I like Rampager's main as well. I don't know what you cut for this stuff though.
Yeah.
I don't know enough
about this. A lot of the lists I've seen, basically they decide whether they want to run Vexing Devils or not, and then they can fit in the Chorclan Rampagers or the Eidolons and so on.
Yeah, Vexing Devil isn't. I don't think it's a very good card. Like I think Chorclan Rampager is better. The problem with Vexing Devil is when you want it to do 4 damage for 1 mana, because obviously that's ridiculously good.
Yes.
But how often does this happen? I mean, pretty rare, or pretty normally, but they can counter it with a removal spell, which is pretty harsh. I guess this deck does have 28 creatures in it, so that's actually not that... Yeah, maybe Vexing Devil's just really good in this deck.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this from the burn perspective, because usually you're sitting there with like an Abrupt Decay or something in your hand after you kill their first 2 creatures, and then the Vexing Devil isn't very good, but... Man, there's just 28 creatures.
Yes.
Can't kill them all.
Experiment 1's annoying. Burning Tree. Basically, you got to play 2 creatures most likely with it, unless you sneak out like a Goyf or like the Boar or something like that. But the Coddle's 1 cost, Vexing Devil's 1, Curt Ape's 1, another Experiment 1 costs 1 mana.
Mm-hmm.
So
another Wild in the Coddle deck. Really, this card is so good right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting. This is even more reason to not be cutting your 4th Lightning Bolt. That guy playing Jund.
Well, so like the red-green like zoo aspect, the aggro red-green one got first. Second place was Burn, and this I think the only reason why he lost is because he didn't have Wild in the Coddle.
Yeah, I mean, look, he doesn't have any Wild in the Coddles, and he couldn't beat the Wild in the Coddle deck.
Yeah,
so.
He doesn't have a Tarka's command in his either. So he's
yeah.
I think he missed the memo that he needs to be focusing more on that green.
Yeah, I think a Tarka's command is the reason to play green.
Yeah.
What's the green card here? Oh, it's just in the sideboard. There's Destructive Revelries.
Right.
That's it.
That's it. I don't know. It's like more old school Burn.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's as good as the Naya Burn personally.
Right. I would rather these 4 Skullcracks main just be Tarka's commands, and then like some sideboard cards be Skullcrack. Like Relic of Progenitus. This is not generally a Burn card.
No. But
yeah, I don't know. I mean, he made second of the event, so he did well.
Right. Clearly knew what he was doing.
Yeah, I mean, he knew how to play Burn. Burn is very linear, and you can just like get people all the time. So yeah.
Deck number 3, another zoo deck.
Yeah. More zoo.
And again, this is what you're going to start seeing. This is the list that I've played against. And it's annoying.
Yeah, I like this deck a lot. I mean, not playing against it, but I think it looks really good.
Right. So like it's got like the guides in there. The Grim Lavamancer and the Rampagers are like the slight difference between the first list that we looked at.
Right.
But you know, in it also runs Searing Blaze, Path to Exile, in addition to its Atarka's Command and Lightning Bolt. So just a little variation on how this deck plays compared to just that red-green aggro style.
Yeah.
So, but these are the types of decks you're going to start seeing more and more.
I really like Gorkland Rampager. You want to cast it as a combat trick.
Yeah.
Generally, you just want to be like, okay, yeah, I'll trample over your big blocker or whatever, kill that, and you take like 3.
Yeah.
But you don't have to do that. Like if it's your last card, you just play it as a 4/4.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with a 4/4 trampler. That is a big man.
Yeah.
Can't bolt it. Can't bolt it. Can't decay it. There's a lot of removal that misses this thing.
Pretty frustrating to deal with. And the sideboard's a lot of one-ofs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got the 3 Firewalker, which is... if you're running white right now, run some Firewalker, guys, because
really good.
You're going to need them.
Yeah, if you can cast Firewalker, I guess. Not every deck can cast it. Looks like this one probably doesn't have too much trouble with it.
Yeah. It's also running Malira, which... Boo. Boo.
Like
also, there we go. One of Planes in its sideboard to help it cast those.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I was looking at... Yeah, upon more review of this main deck, I don't think he's casting Firewalker very easily with it, so I like the Planes.
Yeah, because he's got a Temple Guard and Sacred Foundry. That's his only white. And
yeah, those are the only actual
Planes in there.
That's pretty sketch if that's all you have to make white. So I like the Planes. I also like Kataki is great.
Yeah.
I think this, like, obviously it's good versus Affinity only, but it's very good there.
Cool. So 4th place. We've seen it before.
I just closed it.
Red Green Tron. But this one is the one running the even converted mana cost. Can't cast them. Opponents can't block creatures with even converted mana cost. That Void.
Yep. Alright, we're at 6.
It also is running Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger in there.
7.
So, yeah, I've seen a couple of Tron players be testing this out. I like that idea. I think those are the best Eldrazi to put in there. If you're going to add more Eldrazi in your decks. So.
I think Ulamog is actually the second best Eldrazi right now.
Yeah.
Like, first is Emrakul, clearly. But Ulamog, this one is better than the old one. Yes. I know it doesn't have an Annihilator, but killing 2 permanents when you play it is kind of what you wanted from the old Ulamog, and then it's indestructible, so it's clearly a good blocker. And 2 attacks and they're dead.
Yep.
So I think this card is just better
Mm.
than the only other Ulamog. So everyone who wants that other one for their commander decks or whatever should be happy. I think Voidwind is sweet. I don't know how good it is, but it's clearly sweet. Like, if you play this thing on turn 4, that's really good.
Yeah.
Like, turn 4 on the play, no, just gonna blank all your 4 drops.
Right.
Like, how do you come back from that?
I don't know if you can. Like, I mean, most of the spells people are playing are even cost.
Yeah, there's a lot of, like, 2-mana spells, I think. Is specifically where we have a lot, like 2 and 3. So, blanking, like, more than half of the 2/3 drops, which is maybe a majority of what your deck is. That can just be game ending right there. Mm. So I think it's a really cool one of. Like the opportunity or the cost of putting it in your deck as a one of isn't even that high. Because Tron has a lot of flex slots anyway. So yeah, this is cool. The lands are pretty standard. There's 2 Ghost Quarters, which I mean sometimes you just see one, but I mean 2 Ghost Quarters is completely reasonable.
Yeah, pretty good. Ghost Quarter, Forest, Grove, all the power plants. All the mines, all the towers. Cool. Yeah, pretty straightforward, but just wanted to highlight that they did have some of the new Eldrazi in there. The other couple top 8 lists, we had an Infect player get 5th. And this is the one that's very straightforward. You see, like, the one of Serum. That's something people are trying out a little bit more. Okay. Twisted Image in the main, a lot of people are starting to do that, and that's one of the cards that I want to try to fit in.
Yeah, I like Twisted Image main right now. People just want to play Spellskites and Nobles and stuff, and
being able to push for like 1 extra damage with a Pendlehaven is nice.
Yeah, I like that a lot too.
So
it's pretty cool. Is this running Wild Defiance? There's 1 in the sideboard.
Yeah.
One in the side. You like 2 main.
I like 2 main instead of the side. Because
are you running Apostle's Blessing as well?
Yeah, 2 Apostle Blessing. I'm also running 2 Mutagenic in the main, and I'm running 3 Groundswell, 3 Might, 3 Become Immense.
Okay.
I'm not running any Dismember in the main. I've got my Dismember for the sideboard.
Yeah.
But
I don't even know, like, do you like Dismember in your sideboard? Do you bring it in a lot?
I not as much. So that's why I don't feel the need to bring it in for the main board, but certain matchups I prefer to have it.
I generally just don't even want Dismember. Or that was my thought with this deck. I don't play it very much, so I don't take my advice over here. But I always thought Dismember looked weird in this deck. Like, I've never seen Infect as a deck that's trying to interact with your creatures.
I mean, really, because
making their guys unblockable.
It helps against Twin too.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Because sometimes you're not going to have Vines.
And
if you don't have Vines or Dismember, you just lose.
You just die on the spot, yeah.
So by just, like, Spellskite and Vines are your normal interactions that you've got main board. Some people have started adding Dismember in because of the amount of Twin they're seeing. So I think, those are real reasons why to bring it in. Melira, you can interact with Melira. So...
Yeah, I like Spellskite as a card, but I think versus Twin, I don't even know if it's it's such a liability sometimes because they board in 2 Ancient Grudges versus you.
Yep.
Because it'll kill Spellskite and it'll kill Inkmoth.
Yeah.
Which are the two cards that are very difficult to beat. So sometimes you just get wrecked because you play Spellskite on turn 2. You're like, yeah, I'll Ancient Grudge that, and then you can't ever activate that Inkmoth either. Or if you do, you're gonna have to get through this, plus probably some other removal spell or whatever.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you still want it, but it can be bad sometimes.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
So the other 3 decks that we've had, Amulet Bloom, which has started to crop a little bit back up. It fell off for a little while there, but it's getting back in there. I
think what happened is all the people who weren't good with it stopped playing it, so it went away a bit, and now there's just the few people who are good with it. So they don't they're not winning every tournament, but sometimes you see them. This is an interesting list. They've got 3 Hive Minds, so really want to just kind of get people with the full combo version and 2 Pack Negation. Usually you just see. Oh, actually no, 2 is pretty normal. That's right, we played 2. Yeah, I think the 3 hive mind is the interesting part about this list. And
Yeah,
the lands are pretty standard, except for Halimar Depths, which is the one that runs through range the top 3. Yeah, I haven't seen that one before. That's
not bad
interesting.
idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
just a little extra in there.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So yeah, pretty straightforward with the amulet list. We've also got elves because you've got to have an elf player in there.
Do you though?
I guess I don't know. It's the chord collected list.
Yeah.
Very very straightforward of what it can do. Here's all my elves. I'm gonna give them overrun and kill you.
Yeah, here's all my elves. The deck. That's how elves decks are kind of always been.
Mm-hmm.
This one, if you're familiar with the legacy version, you can kind of go off like that. Obviously it's harder to draw cards, but you can use stuff like Heritage Druid and Nettle Sentinel to just make a bunch of mana every time you cast a creature.
Yep.
And what is it? What are they doing to draw the cards though? There's Visionaries, but those are also in the legacy version.
I think what is it? Evolutionary Leap they used in there too.
Right, but I don't see one in this list.
No, not for this list.
Yeah. They just don't really draw the cards. They just trying to put their hand in play and then hope that's enough.
I guess.
Yeah, the legacy version, you put your hand in play, but you also get a new hand because you just drew like 4 cards.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of cool there. But yeah, this one's pretty all in.
Yeah.
It's not the pure combo version. Like, it's not running Critter Hoof or anything.
Mm-hmm.
But Azuri is kind of a combo card, and then Shaman of the Pack is another way to kill. That's really interesting.
Yeah. So that was a elf list that made 7th, and then the final list, because we need at least one up there. We had an Abzan player. So.
Yeah. Do you see this Obsidat?
Oh, look at this guy.
Look at this guy. Wants to have bad mana.
Tricky.
I don't think this is very good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest right here. I think this is bad. Like, it's just not necessary.
he loves that drain play. Siege Rhino, Obsidat. He's like, that's all I want to do. It's just drain you down. I don't even care if I attack you with regular guys. I'm just gonna sit here and drain you.
I mean, like, clearly if Obsidat gets in play, it's good. But white, black is. That's not easy.
That is no.
Yeah, we even see he's running a Twilight Mar to make it a little easier, which isn't something you always see in Abzan, but you do sometimes. And usually I think it's 2 Gavinies, but only 1 here. Again, probably to make the mana a bit easier. I mean, he top 80 with it, so I'm guessing Obsidat was either not drawing very much or good for him, or at least it didn't hold him back enough. So that's cool.
He's also running Abzan Charm in the main.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's cool. There's 1 Abzan Charm.
Uh-huh.
Why not, right? It's a good card.
Yeah.
It's just, like, powerful. At worst, it's, like, Sign in Blood. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
I like Sign in Blood. It's a good card.
I like drawing cards.
Yeah, I like drawing. Who doesn't like drawing cards? Yeah, and again, you get to play Lingering Souls, so that's kind of like... I think that's the main draw to Abzan, is just playing Lingering Souls.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I love me some Lingering, but I play black-white tokens, so...
Yeah, that makes sense then. The sideboard here is kind of interesting. There's like a Gideon Jura, I think is the
interesting.
kind of yeah. I've never seen a Gideon Jura in an Abzan sideboard. What do you think about that?
I've actually seen people running the other Gideon, the ally.
The new one.
More than I've seen people running Jura. And even then, like, they've been able to fit, like, one in the main or try it in the side and bring it in. But I like the new one better, especially because you can sit there and just, all right, here's an emblem making your souls better or making your teams better.
Yeah, wow, that's so good.
So
that emblem with Lingering Souls is so insane.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah, I wish this was allies in a car. Until like right now, I hadn't realized why that new one was good, but like I get it now.
I get it now.
Just say it was emblem, like, oh yeah, that's why.
Oh, look at that! Now your dudes are better.
All my dudes are super cool. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Alright, this is a cool list. I mean, like for Abzan, it's kind of interesting. One thing to point out here is 3 lilies main, 1 side. Usually it's just like 4 main, but not in this case.
Yeah, because he wants to have that Sorin in there.
Yeah, I like the Sorin. I think Sorin's pretty decent. actually don't know. I always thought the other, like the original Soren was better than the mid ones, but
I don't know. I like having the lifelink.
yeah, Lifelink's good.
And usually it's more relevant if people are also running Dark Confidant, but this list isn't even doing that.
Yeah, I don't think Abzan usually does.
So
Abzan's like, nah, we don't want to run the sweetest.
Well, and it's like he can't really afford to with having the Rhinos and the Obsidian and Tasker and all that stuff. So
yeah, I wouldn't want Dark Confidant here.
yeah,
Too many high mana cards. The Siege Arnos are what gets you.
Yep.
Pretty standard list, though. I think if you want to run Abzan, this is a fine way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Other than the Obsidian, I get. It's just too sketchy, man. It's too sketchy.
To each their own. To each their own.
I suppose so. You are correct.
All right, so that was pretty much this week. Is just kind of going over some of the interesting decks that have popped up, as well as more of the standard, straightforward top 8, top 16 from a couple of the events. There is going to be another GP in Pittsburgh coming up this coming weekend, the 21st through 22nd there. So Saturday and Sunday for you guys to be able to enjoy. I'll be there playing. In fact,
I'm going to watch.
You'll be watching.
Hopefully.
I know that one of my buddies is bringing Fish. One of them is bringing Blue-Red Twin. I've got an Affinity player I know that's going to be going. Abzan player that's going to be going. Like, we got a lot of variety in players that are going to be attending. So we'll see how it goes. Do you have any events coming up for you? I think we're pretty much almost done with the modern GPs for this year.
Yeah, I'm not going to a GP or anything. I actually don't think there is anything, honestly. Nothing in modern. I think there's some standard PTQs that we're gonna go to, but yeah, I mean, I'll keep playing in FNMs when there's modern to be played there. Like, I'd rather play modern than anything else, so I'll definitely just keep doing that. And I always like to watch the format anyway, even if I'm not gonna be playing it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Good stuff, good stuff. Well, I think that'll be doing it for us tonight, guys. Thanks for tuning in and checking us out. We'll be coming back in December at some point. I don't know when. Just keep your eyes open. And if you get a chance, check out the YouTubes, because Brandon and I will be putting up stuff. He's got. Have you been doing more draft videos? Is that still?
I haven't been drafting lately. I've been doing other stuff, so we're still uploading.
StarCraft.
Yeah, I've been playing StarCraft.
But yeah, there'll be some videos stuff coming up. So Brandon, where can they find out more stuff that you're working on?
Generally just follow me on Twitter, honestly. Just Muataran, Muataran. If you want the spelling, I'm sure it's somewhere. Yeah, it's totally there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll just tweet whenever I'm going to do anything anyway, so that is the easiest way.
Awesome. And I am the Real Nanman at the Real Nanman, or you can check me out on YouTube, youtube.com/Nanman. That's where all of these VODs are going to get posted up. And if I'm doing any other sort of videos, video games, Magic stuff, you'll be seeing stuff like that. I'll probably do another recap stuff after the GP. Even if I go 0-3, well, I can't go 0-3. Even if I go 2-3 drop, because I get.
You got buys?
Yeah, two buys because I won that GP qualifier thing or whatever.
Oh, cool. So you got, like, is there a travel stipend for that one too?
Was there a what?
Was there a travel stipend too?
No.
So it's just buys?
Just buys.
Oh, okay. Oh well.
Better than nothing.
Yeah, I mean, 2 buys is good.
Yeah, so I'll be doing that and do at least a recap of that coming up, so you guys can enjoy that sort of content soon. But thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll catch you back next week. Well, no, we're not doing weeklies anymore. Next month.
Next time.